26/11 plotter Tahawwur Rana, who played a key role in planning and executing these horrible terror attacks on the city of Mumbai, is finally being extradited to India to face justice. Now, obviously, this has been in the works for years. Rana is someone who was already convicted in a court in Chicago in another case surrounding another incident, but obviously this is something that is an immense important step for India, given the fact that the 26/11 attacks took place in Mumbai. Hundreds died, several were injured. It was one of the worst terror attacks this country has seen, which continued for days at two hotels, a Jewish center, and also the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj terminus in the city where the rail terminus is. So all of these things happened in the city, and of course this was something that was expected. But how was Tahawwur Rana's role in all of this nailed? While he may have been convicted earlier in the United States in Chicago, what happened was David Coleman Headley had deposed before an Indian court, and in that deposition, Ujjwal Nikam, the special public prosecutor on that case, asked him questions. And in answers to those questions, David Coleman Headley outlined how Tahawwur Rana helped him in the logistical part of planning these, including providing a cover. David Coleman Headley, remember, had recce'd these locations. He had gone and photographed these locations where these attacks would take place later. And Tahawwur Rana provided him the logistical support, including the immigration services firm that Tahawwur Rana ran, ostensibly at that point to open an office for that firm, and documents, etc., emails, etc., pertaining to that. All of that has been mentioned, and David Coleman Headley, of course, said all of this in that court. And this is important because this is not just an admission to an investigation agency or a confession, but this is something that he is deposing in court voluntarily. And this happened after he turned approver in the case and secured a pardon. But he outlined the role that Tahawwur Rana played, and he deposed in an Indian court via video conferencing from an undisclosed location in the United States of America. This took place a few years back. We had all covered it at that time. In fact, the court, the deposition and the hearing took place at an odd time because it was matching the United States time. So obviously all of this has happened, and this took place also because, remember, Abu Jundal, another terror operative, was facing trial. So David Coleman Headley's deposition was very important. It outlined Tahawwur Rana's role in all of this. Even though Tahawwur Rana got away on this count in the United States, he wasn't convicted on that count. He, of course, has to face trial in India. He's being extradited for that reason. And of course, his whatever he shares, India has already shared multiple dossiers with Pakistan on how all of this was carried out from Pakistani soil. In fact, the terror attacks were controlled from a control room in the city of Karachi, and there was one voice that had an unmissable Indian tone accent, and that voice, of course, was believed to be Abu Jindal's voice. So David Coleman Headley's inputs on this case was very important. He outlined Tahawwur Rana's role as one of the supporters, providing logistical support in the planning and execution of the 26/11 terror attacks in Mumbai, the worst terror attack, or one of the worst terror attacks that India has faced.